So roll call. Councilor Manzer?
Here.
Councilor Tudor?
Present.
Manager of Corporate Affairs? Manager of Municipal Services? I can't get them both right. CL?
Here.
Administrative Assistant? Here. Councilor Thurber? Here. Deputy Warden Ross?
Right here.
And myself. I would like us all to take a moment to pause to seek guidance. Okay, and our mission statement is to provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs by preserving, supporting, and enhancing quality of life for all. Could we have approval of the agenda, and is there any additions or deletions?
A motion to approve the agenda?
Is there a seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Next is delegations, presentations. Our first is the Digby Business Association. Could I have someone move forward?
I motion to have the Digby Business Association step up to the mic.
And is there a seconder?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. I would now ask for both persons to give their name so that it's for our records, please.
Mike Bartlett. Al Dupuy.
Thank you. And who would like to begin?
I'm going to begin.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to hear us tonight. We feel that we should come and tell you what we're doing instead of just taking money every year. I think it's important that we update what the program is and how it's proceeding. Roger Marshall couldn't be here tonight, but Roger's done Christmas activities for 40 years. We haven't missed a year actually. Even with COVID, we did a virtual with a drone, and we included Tide View with that as well. We do a tree lighting at Tide View as well every year, and we provide them with a copy of the virtual that we did. The past few years, prior to COVID, we also done a house lighting at the Al Dupuy's house, and we provide both summer and winter entertainment. Advertising opportunities and marketing for businesses throughout the municipality and town are 38 to 40 businesses strong. We go from Smith's Cove right in through to Conway to downtown Digby. So it's not just the downtown area, it's the outlying areas as well. Music on the promenade was something that Al thought he'd like to put together about, this will be our third year with it. And who better to talk to musicians than a musician himself. So enough about the Christmas, and that's just part of what we do. And I'm going to pass it over to Al, and he's going to talk to you about the music on the promenade.
Thanks, Mike. In January of 2019, the Digby Business Association, made up of Mike, Roger, and myself, discussed the idea of highlighting some music on the stage in the center of town. Hence, Music on the Promenade was born. We agreed that having it at this venue was a good idea because of its location and the fact that the people would be closer to the performers than the marina stage. And I've played both, and certainly I can attest that the marina stage, particularly if you're solo or duo, is a harder nut to crack than it is on the promenade, because you're closer to the people. There's a better sound on the promenade, and there's a better ambiance there. The atmosphere on the stage in the center of town is more conducive to singles, duos, and trios, and that was the idea that we discussed from the beginning. We didn't want to get into 4-piece bands, 5-piece bands, whatever, because we felt they were more suited for the marina stage. We each had a role to play and mine being the liaison to the local performers, because I've spent most of my life in music. I started when I was 5, courting my father, who played the fiddle, and I was playing the guitar. So I started on fiddle music. I've toured the Maritimes for 20 years. That's how I made my living. And then I got back into teaching after that. So this role for me, talking to musicians and trying to decide for the group, and then we get together and we discuss whether we feel conclusively if these acts represent our area, and certainly so far the acts that we have do. In 2019, we put on 21 shows. And there was 9 performers or ensembles on those shows in 2019, meaning there was either a single, duo, or a trio. We didn't do anything in 2020 due to COVID restrictions. And in 2021, which was last year, we put on 20 shows featuring 10 performers or ensembles. So 2019, 21 shows, 9 performers. We added another act last year, and we did 20 shows. We were very pleased and have been extremely pleased with the success of these endeavors, and happy about the buzz and feedback that we get from both the locals and tourists. Some of these people came to every show, which is quite amazing. I was at pretty much every show, and I think Raj was too. So we kept seeing some of the same people over and over who basically decided, whether it be a Monday, a Wednesday, or a Friday, they wanted to get out and have some fun. Every act has expressed their appreciation for being given the opportunity to showcase their talent and are looking forward to the upcoming season. I'm the one who talks to them on the phone or sees them in person, and every single act has said how much fun they have doing this. It's an outdoor venue, for one thing, okay? It's not a bar, it's not a pub, there's no drinking involved. It's not a situation where after an hour and a half, things change because of liquor. And you guys have all been there around it. I've been there as well. These shows are from 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the reason we did this was to create some continuity so that people would remember that on those days of pretty much every week, from the time we begin to the time we end, that there's going to be something going on there between 6 and 8 o'clock. The only time that we don't is we don't want to conflict with Scallop Days. We don't want to conflict with Lobster Bash. So we take into consideration our friends who are running these things as well. But for the most part, those 3 days operate from the time we start to the time we finish. So we can promote this to no end, but still, which we attempt to do, but still the locals know that this is happening on a regular basis. The location is perfect because it is basically the center of town. For one who doesn't know, and I'm sure you must know, but I will mention it. For one who doesn't know, it's at the cenotaph where the cannon is on the main street with the wharf and the water as a backdrop. So it's a beautiful spot, warm and fuzzy. A gazebo is going to be erected there this year, sometime in May, that has been purchased and approved by the town. And that's going to be placed there. We believe it's a 14 by 12, but it's at least a 14. It could be a 14 by 10, but we think it's a 14 by 12 structure that's going up there. It's already been bought, paid for, and then, of course, Ed and the boys are going to set it up. We're going to be around, try to get them to position it at the right spot. It has to be positioned in the right spot. It's a situation where that gazebo can be taken down. It's a wooden structure. It comes in pieces. I think it was bought from, was it? Home Depot, okay. So anyway, it's made of wood. It looks similarly to the one that is by the fire ball field. There's one in the ball field where those plants or the garden is, and I think it looks pretty close to the look of that structure, doesn't it? I think so. So anyway, it will provide cover from the elements for both the performers and anyone who chooses to escape the sun and rain when there isn't a show. So this is going to serve more than just a purpose for cover for Lobster Bash or the other events that go on and hours, but people can also get under there to escape the sun, rain, or whatever. Be in the shade. We believe this structure will be a signature piece for this designated area and a focal point for all to appreciate. Now to the performers. The performers who are partaking, some of them, I didn't name them all, but here's some representation. Tide and Timber, the Outhouse Boys from the island. Harvey Marcotte from Bear River. Bob Marshall from Digby, from town. And Stephen Gaudette and Terry Thibodeau from the French Shore. Now we have others, of course, I didn't mention them all. All of the acts bring their brand of music, and in some cases humor, to each event. A number of performers have CDs. And some of these CDs are sold, which is good because it's an opportunity for them to promote their wares, their talent on an item that can be enjoyed as a keepsake, and then could be a local person purchases it, it might be somebody who's a tourist who purchases it, and then it becomes part of their experience and visit to the promenade. And finally, what do these shows contribute to the area? And that's why we're here. It gives work for the performers during a time when there hasn't been much of it. Nobody can argue that.
Yeah.
Each act has their followers who come in from the areas where they're from. So whether it be the island, whether it be Bear River, whether it be the French Shore, or whatever, some people will follow them there. I was in the business for a bunch of years. I know how it works. Great publicity for the area as it is promoted as well as our budget will allow us to promote it. We believe we've done well so far. We've done pamphlets. We've even done posters. We've done various things. Positivity and excitement over the fact that this much music is happening over an extended period of time is part of the buzz in the town. They realize that this doesn't happen over 3 days. We've gone over a period of 2 months. And I mean, that's a lot of shows. It showcases a diversity of musical styles and pretty much guarantees that there's something for everyone depending upon the act you choose to go see. Somebody might play more country. Somebody might play more rock. Somebody might play more maritime music. Many of the acts play multiple genres, whether it be Beatles, whether it be Janelle and Cameron, whether it be Merle Haggard, what have you. But many of the acts, and then there's some that showcase more on the fishing life, or maybe more on maritime music, or maybe even some more on blues or rhythm and blues, which there are people who love rhythm and blues. But here's the big factor for me. And it was something that I enjoyed the whole time I was in the business. This always made my night. To see folks singing, clapping, feet stomping, sometimes even dancing, particularly now. This is needed more than ever because it's an escape. It's a deviation. It's an opportunity to relax. It's an opportunity to forget about your problems. Share it with your friends. Have a few laughs. Some people bring their own lawn chairs. We are planning to provide some lawn chairs for the ones who don't have them. And we can get them for a pretty darn reasonable price. So we're going to have some. We've decided to do this. We don't want to see somebody standing up there who's uncomfortable if they want to sit. So we're going to give them a seat. They could be sitting on a bench. They could be standing around the perimeter. That's up to them. But we'll provide them some seating if they want it. There's an impact on the tourists who visit our area. That goes without saying. It gives them another option on an evening and adds another reason why they should come here or should want to come here. Local restaurants benefit. Stores benefit because of the traffic that it creates. Now this year, we'd like to put on 28 shows. We'd like to start in the middle of June and have 12 acts instead of 10. They've already been contacted. And the reason that we want to start in mid-June is because the weather is so beautiful there. By the end of August, when you're into 6, 7, 8 o'clock, it can get pretty darn cool there. I ought to know because I've played it. And you guys have all been out there. So if we can kind of begin in the middle of June, have all the rest of June, all of July, and all of August, that's 2.5 months of steady music in this town. Rain dates will occur on the first available day. They've all agreed. First available time, if you have a chance to play, please play. So we're going to keep all the venues. We talked about this in the beginning about should we put them indoors? No. Then you got to reroute people. You got to figure out where the heck you're going. Is it the Heritage Center? Is it the curling club? No? Have it. It's meant to be an outdoor venue. We want to keep it that way. Just do it the next day. And finally, music on the promenade is an investment to the identity of this community and surrounding area. An infusion of spirit is needed more now than ever. Music being, and I want to stress this, it's the only universal language we got in this world. And it's one way to achieve bringing people together and making them happy. We would appreciate your financial support and look forward to a successful season of musical entertainment provided for your area. Thank you for your attention in this matter.
Anyone have any questions?
I'm just looking at the numbers, and I'm just wondering what the Christmas booklets are.
These are the Christmas booklets here. Last year, you guys were in it.
But it's not showing in your financial statement.
Pardon?
There's nothing showing the income from us in the financial statement.
Oh. I just wanted to know.
Now, each year for the Christmas, you've done $500. So we've advertised the levies. Of course, last year there wasn't one. That's the booklet there.
Okay.
So in
So we
your,
do 5,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, we do 5,000.
no, there's nothing here about the municipality giving any money. And we did give to the books
For
in your income. I don't know who does your books, but
I think would that be captured, if I could, would that be captured under the Digby Business Promotions?
yes, yeah.
Well, turning the tide, that was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, it's not this year.
okay, if there's no further questions, I want to thank you for making your presentation. This will be looked at during our budget process.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, my cash in the coupon.
Still good, some of them.
Yep, some are good at the end of April.
I have a question,
Yes, sir.
please. Angela, are you still involved in the breaking waves?
Was last year.
Oh.
I'm not sure if they're going to have it this year or not.
Are they still? Are they going to have it? Do you know?
I'm not sure, no.
Oh, you're not sure.
I'm not sure.
Who would I contact?
I got a number for you.
Yeah.
What?
I got a number for you.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to do it again because they went over budget and last time, and there's just 2 people that did it, and it kind of overwhelmed. Usually there's a team of people.
You say they went over budget, you said?
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 years they've been over budget.
Pam Krause is the name. Do you have a pen?
Yeah, Kraus?
Yeah.
Yeah, go Go ahead.
902.
Yeah.
247.
Yeah.
1118. She'll be able to tell you one way or the other. She's also in charge now of the Legion. So.
Yeah, it's just something that, I spoke to you on the phone about it. Something I've always wanted to do, but I've done pretty much everything else in this area, but that's one thing I haven't done. I've never played down there. I've never had the pleasure of playing down there. So I just thought it'd be kind of neat to go down and do something, that's all. I'll give him a call, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, our next presentation is Transport Declare. Could I have someone move for the presentation?
I'll motion.
Public approval, presentation?
I'll second it.
Transport Declare. And again, would you give your name for our reporter?
Yes, my name is Paul Lombard, and I'm the manager for the Transport Declare Society. Kind of feels like an
Righty.
So anyway, as I was saying, my name is Paul Lombard. I'm the manager for Transport Declare, and I'm pretty sure most of you know that the Transport Declare started in 1996, and it's been ongoing. It was the first one, actually, followed by PIC2 a few months later, and then others. So we're a group of 20 like us right across the province now. So I'm into my third year this month as manager, and we do a lot of transportation for, anybody at all, actually. It used to be known as the wheelchair, but it's not. We transport anybody at all that needs a ride. So whether it's local shopping, we do a lot of medical trips, whether it be just local or Halifax, Kenville, Yarmouth. It's been an increasing in the last year and a half quite a bit for these kind of local trips and stuff, especially this winter, because a lot of the seniors do not like to drive. So we've done a lot of, medical, like I said, blood work, anything at all. Also an increasing of trips to Halifax. Unfortunately, cancer seems to be, and dialysis a little bit on the rise. So we do transports up to Yarmouth, and we do transport to Digby as well, now that it's open. The thing that since I've been there, I started to shift a little bit more into Digby. I was looking at what was coming in the region of Clare. I was looking into what was coming from the Municipality of Digby. And, before I go any further, I would like to thank you very much for the continued support, because it's well needed for these days. What I meant by doing some, I'm a guy that's always supported those that support us. Okay, so in the past, windshields were done down in Yarmouth. They're now done at PEX here. Repairs have been done at Seabrook, Truck and Marine, and Coastal. Truck and Marine in Seabrook. We do a lot of some purchasing too. So, trying to balance where the funds go, because I know that you always sometimes wonder, and I'm a numbers guy, so excuse me if I talk too much numbers. If you don't want to, I can go on for it. But, so we have Harold that's still on staff, and he's been doing a terrific job for us up this way. And we also have Morris Dowsett that now has moved to Brighton. He was down in French Shore, but has moved up, so he uses his own vehicle. So there's a fair amount of monies coming back into your municipality. Another thing too, I've increased our vehicles from 9 to 10. We have 4 buses now, 5 vans, from minivans to 2 full-size vans, and also purchased a Ford Escape, all-wheel drive, hybrid. I'm trying to get into that next phase. So that's been proven to be very satisfactory for our long trips with the Escape, especially this winter all-wheel drive. It's been phenomenal. Also, there's something that's been done, and I'm going to keep it going, is that there's a lot of residents from the island that sometimes have a hard time to get around. So we have a Diane Young down there.
Yep, good old Diane. I was going to bring her up.
She is like godsend. She promotes a lot of our tickets are 50-50, and by the way, about 65 to 70% of the winnings have been going down to the Freeport.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of us will donate the winnings back for a trip for the old folks. Like they'll always go to a movie or something like that.
Yeah. So we are doing, and come high water, I'll say it that way, those trips once a month for them to come shopping in Digby. It's an all-day thing. Those are going to continue as long as I'm there.
Right on. Those are really needed.
That's a guarantee.
It's a fun time for everybody.
Yeah. So, some of them take their pop bottles and everything.
I know.
So, we're open, whatever they need. And so, a lot of those trips sometimes do not pay themselves, but it doesn't matter. They're going to keep going. Yeah. That's a guarantee.
Although most of those people are very, very limited incomes, so it's kind of a big deal. Some of them would never, ever leave the island if it wasn't for that. They just simply wouldn't.
Really? Yeah. Wow. So, they pay $20. Mm-hmm. It's an all-day thing. Whether they want to go eat, go shopping, Walmart, so anywheres, So, and like I said, they're going to keep going. So, yeah, we're going to keep going. Also, the other thing that I did, because of COVID the last couple of years, it's been a little bit tight on some things. So what I did, I have a tendency to look at the top, going down. So we had 4 staff. Well, I thought me and Leonard could do a little more. So we have no more assistant manager. That position is eliminated. And we have a lady that comes in and does dispatch and a little bit of, I'm showing her a little bit some other stuff there twice a week. And it seems to be working very well, actually. We're not stressed tight. Eventually, things are opening up a little more. We're going to probably get her to come in 3 days a week. The next phase that I'm kind of looking at is one of the vehicles has to be replaced, and I'm looking at maybe an electric car. I think in this region and in Clare, a few days here, there's some things that people call, they want to go shopping. We can always arrange with them. So we can do a couple of people that want to go shopping individually with an electric car here. Get about 400 kilometers or so. Terry filled me in on a lot. I was talking to him, so he's actually pretty knowledgeable, I'd say. And then a couple of days in Clare, so we can switch it around. Provincial government will be helping us with that. So anyway, it's been a fun ride for me, actually. I really enjoy this. So, yeah, I'm there for a couple more years, God willing. So anyway, that's what we do. Also, lately, the last couple of months, we've been getting a lot of calls from Digby Hospital because some people have been discharged and there's no ambulance around to take them back. So, providing that we don't need ambulatory service, we've been doing a lot of pickups there. I mean, I was up here playing cards just up the road on a Saturday night, and they called and I said, "Oh, well, we just discharged a fellow that lives not far from here. Can you arrange?" Yeah, just a minute. So, Saturday night.
Are they paying the hospital?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say.
We always assume the health department isn't doing the check.
Well, no, it's just, I wanted to check because I didn't want it to be on the patient.
Yeah, I was thinking that. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. And, yeah, they've been paying. And, like I said, Saturday night, 5:45. Harold, are you around? Yeah. Can you? Yeah, no problem. Another part about COVID, that when it started with COVID, that I have to stress. Our drivers, not my drivers, our drivers. I told them that anybody that did not want to drive, their job would be kept to one side. We'll work with what we have. A lot of Halifax trips. Halifax was kind of the hot spot at the beginning. Not one driver refused. Not a one. So, So we have a team. We don't have a manager. We only have a manager when, something goes wrong. The rest of the time, it's a team. And I could not ask for better. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask anything at all.
Okay, George?
How many private drivers do you have? Like private cars, not transport declared vehicles?
Yeah, okay. Right now, I've got 3. I've got 3 at this time.
And you pay mileage?
We pay him mileage, yeah. Yeah, we pay him a stipend of 40 cents per kilometer. It's something we might have to look at because of the price of gas. So it's a lot of increasing costs. We have 3 of them, and we're going to have to look at that. Also, we're down to 1 diesel. That's another thing that I've kind of outlawed the idea. We had a few diesel buses. So anyway, we're down to 1, and when that one's gone, it's going to be gas. I mean, I looked at the total cost of operation. For what you pay in difference for a diesel engine and gas, with the mileage that we put in, 300,000 kilometers, 15, 16, 17,000 more for diesel. And right now you're looking at 20 cents difference.
Is that much more than that?
Diesel. Yeah, I looked at it today. 20 cents more.
So you get switched over to gas, and gas will go up in diesel.
Everything is good.
And then we'll switch to electricity, and then after that, the power corporation will put the rate up.
Everything you're checking for paint.
They can switch over vehicles.
piece in the paper this week.
In New Brunswick, they do it.
Propane, yeah.
And then they have like a kit that they switch over.
I could just see you getting in an accident. It was nice knowing you. Bang.
I think they have modern stuff for these things. I don't think it's just a garbage bag full of
No, but
propane in the back.
no, but I'm just saying, I
I know.
can see that.
Yeah.
Keep in track with electric buses that they're coming. They're a little bit on the high side right now, like a lot. But I think an electric car will do us good. Because what I understand, Terry was 30,000 kilometers. His cost of electricity was around $600. I just got a quote today. I was at Ellis talking to Eddie, and I was asking, what's the charge time and all that stuff. I've done a research anyway, but anyway, yeah, they do 20,000 kilometers at around $300. So
Wow.
that's for the little Chevy. Oh, the Tesla is a bigger car too, right? But so anyway, kind of looking at that, it's time to look a little forward. So, like I said, the expenses have been a little higher lately. So anyway, any questions?
Anybody else?
I really like what you're doing. You guys do, like the rest of the municipality has the daily bus. My district has the monthly bus, and it is just as valuable.
I would, Paul, like to say thank you so much for your presentation. This will be put on our budget process and be looked at that time.
Again, I thank you very much for having me here today. And Mr. Sutherland, you've been ringing the bell. So anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be able to come talk a little bit about us.
You might even do your golf thingy this year, huh?
Not sure. We're looking at the whole thing, the whole golf and the prizes. It's a little bit late because you got to pick up. The problem with that is right now to ask for gifts and it's getting a little bit tight. So what I've done, and I forgot to tell the boys. I've got a band. It's 60s, 70s, country.
That's right, I forgot.
And one night only.
That's right.
Yeah, we got together to do a fundraiser for a bunch, and it was supposed to be one night only, and it ended up one night only, take 157. So I'm going to talk to the boys about maybe getting somewhere to do. We'll play. I'll cook I've been known to cook a little bit, so I'll maybe do a roast beef dinner and then dance after that, or you can have just a dinner, or just a dance, or both. I'm looking at doing that this summer, so
At the price of beef, look at turkey.
Yeah.
or look at ham. But
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
You're talking high price for your meat, so you
Yeah.
can get the best price for the meat.
Haddock.
I've got a lady that I'm pretty sure I can get some cross rib for around $3.99 a pound from this person. Yeah, she'll help us, right, from one of the stores. And so I did a few Myrtle and Rosie. So I could do roast beef, potatoes, carrots, gravy, and a little cake for around $4.13. So if I can find roast beef at $3.99 or something like that, so I had it all figured out.
So, it's what Wayne's is in your band, right?
Wayne Bell, yeah, he's a bass player. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who's there.
Jerry Mario, tall fella.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of looks like Animal there in the Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh.
And
There's a fourth person.
Alan Stewart, he's been a mechanic at Leonard Comeau's at the Honda shop for the last 43 years. So I'm sure, I already talked to them about it a little bit, and they'll do the thing for nothing, and we could probably raise as much in a day that it takes a couple of weeks and all that for the golf tournament. But we are going to look at it just to see.
Well, bottom line is, people like dinners, especially with music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what's $20 a person with music? It's
For
nothing.
everything.
You know, I mean, no one's going to be hollering over $40 for a couple because it's a dinner and music. And that's to me on the low end, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go too low; you're wasting your time.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Go
a
too high, you don't have people, but you can gauge people.
Yeah. And then we're going to play.
I wouldn't think anything of $20-25 per person, but that's just me.
Yeah, and we'll have it separate. So if they want, some people do not want to go, but they would come and support Trustful, for the supper only or something like that. So I have my fancy little hat there, little dance, around the tables. So, but
That would
anyway,
be fun.
Do one on the island at the Legion.
uh,
Diane.
I played at the Legion. It's been 35 years. The
Oh,
hair,
same Legion.
the hair was longer, darker. And there wasn't 30 pounds of COVID symptoms here.
Yeah, I mean,
So anyway, but yeah, I wrote down the name of it when you said Legion. So. But yeah, it'd be fun to have a couple, one Digby, one Claire, one, and that's a good idea.
well, then just Diane would fill that up just
Oh,
herself.
my God. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. But
And she's dedicated to you guys. She's very dedicated to you guys.
So that's why when she asked, can we go here, you just call Leonard and tell him, book the bus. Just do it. That's,
She looks after everybody very good.
yeah. Yeah, it really,
She's sort of like an unpaid helper over that old folks home for sure.
yeah, she
She's like
never
a
asked.
staff member that's not a staff member.
And she's on our board now.
Yeah, she's very proud. She's told me. She's very happy about it.
So if there's any questions?
No. So, again, thank you so much. Drive back careful.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.
And
See the faces, the new faces. It's good.
we usually have our budget finalized by the end of May. So,
Yep, okay. That's good. That's great. Thank you again, thank you for the support over the years. And hopefully we can keep working together at this. And I'd like to put an end to a rumor. Yes, I am turning 40 this year.
I'm sorry, I thought you were
It's the
25.
button. It's like the mic drop.
So anyway, thank you very much again.
Thank you. Have a good one. Okay, the next is approval of the minutes on February 22nd, 2022. Is there any errors or omissions?
I move approval of the minutes.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Under unfinished business, the Tidew Terrace lift station, are you going to be talking about that? Because there was the three options,
Well,
and they were all scary.
I was going to introduce, so there is one more option,
Oh,
which is to leave it exactly as it is, like all our other lift stations. But I'll let Tyler speak about his report and the options, but I guess I'll start by saying there is one more option, which is to suggest we looked at the options and found them too expensive.
No, yeah, that is fair. Obviously, that's a fourth option for us. Really, there's only two options. In the end, it's one, leave it as it is, or two, have a permanent generator put there.
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and Barry did send me. He actually got a quote on this, and that is pretty spot on. It was like $28,000 plus HST. Like that is a pretty accurate number. It's not cheap, and I would imagine if we're building like a hut around it and different, it's gonna be higher than
Well, yeah,
that.
you're
So
gonna be up to 50,000 with no problem.
it's pricey, so I mean, but that really is the only option. You guys read the memo, you see why the first two options don't work as solutions. We just need to think about whether or not we're interested in proposing that third option.
Yeah, but you can't have that place out without water. The manor went without water for a day. It was a disaster.
But
So this isn't for water.
This isn't for water.
Oh.
This is wastewater, right?
Okay, George?
If you do leave it as it is, could the, like a plow driver be kind of on alert that maybe they would need escort a big, like a tanker truck down there to pump that thing out if it needed to be?
It's been difficult in recent storms to get them pumped out. Like there's not a lot of availability of companies that do that, and the town is like it's been difficult.
Yeah, I think the event that triggered the letter was an abnormal situation with the company that supplies the services has very limited drivers, and one of the drivers was not comfortable in the weather. So we were down to one driver and one truck in the middle of a storm to service basically all of our lift stations and the town ones. So there just ended up with a shortage in the middle of a storm, servicing a lot of lift stations with one truck. So the timeline in between the pickups just was longer than usual. Normally, there's 3 trucks involved, kind of a Weymouth and 2 up here.
Can you prioritize, or is it just robbing Peter to pay Paul sort of thing?
That's the prioritized schedule.
Oh,
So that's preventing Tideview
So when the power
has
goes out,
challenged.
we have
But that's not the normal. It was an abnormal storm.
Oh, so this
When
might
they get-
never happen.
It may never happen again.
And that's an awful lot
Not
of
in
money to
this way,
spend for a one-off.
So, Tideview, while it creates operational challenges, that station wasn't going to overflow, right? So there's 2 different, there's a operational challenge.
So it wasn't a health threat immediately.
Not
or
at that
anything
point,
like that.
right? Like it was dealt with long before that. But they definitely are advised, they're such a high volume consumer, if they're running normally, they produce a lot of wastewater. So they're, one of the first things that the town does, because they're connected to town water, is suggest they slow down on water usage and sewer. And that does impact their operations, going back to their initial letter, right? And like I say, this power outage that triggered this was longer than usual. I think it would be considered probably one of the longest ones they've experienced in recent memory.
Years, and
right?
there's never been a problem. It's a one-off.
So if this happened again, potentially,
We'll revisit.
if it was a long period of a power outage, we could technically take a generator down there and.
Well, now you just have a truck.
Yeah, we take a back, so it's not a truck we have, it's like a Connell septic, right?
And if he had regular people driving, this wouldn't have been an issue anyway. So
That's it, right? They were just there because of the storm, they had one of their drivers that wasn't comfortable. So it just, like I say, like all of these stories, a number of small things contributed. So it is manageable with, and I think certainly, like, the town and our staff are aware of the sensitivities around the Tideview station and always are. But we certainly didn't want to look at all the options. We thought with a few of those other options that we had found pretty good fits, but then realizing that obviously there was complications with the other options, and then the expense for the last option, and there's ongoing maintenance that we didn't even price out. That's just the capital cost. That's not employees testing and checking it.
Yeah.
And it's just not something we certainly at this point have been geared up to do. And again, we can discuss fully tonight. You guys can think on this some, and we push it to another agenda. But I think we've laid out the options quite clearly. The options aren't going to change.
Budget process.
So I think we leave it because.
Okay, so, all right, I'm gonna go around. So you feel we should leave it?
Yeah.
Angela?
I think we should just leave it as is.
All right, then, yeah.
I think we should just leave it.
So it's a unanimous that.
Better to say no here
at
than
this
no
time,
then.
right
I don't know
now,
what
that
others
we are gonna leave it
complicated
as
things
is.
were.
So can we get a motion to send a letter to Tideview in
Yes.
response to theirs, to leave it? And I think we can suggest that we will work with all of the operators involved to ensure good communication. We'll send a very positive letter.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, we're aware that it's there, and if it gets frequent, well, we'll have this conversation again, but.
But right now,
The staff write a letter in response to Tyview, reflecting our conversation that we just had.
there was a seconder.
Seconded.
Okay, that usually comes through me, that's all. The staff writes it, but I sign it. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the lobster trap program. And I actually wasn't quite sure
1%
what,
of 35,000, so she wants $35.
So what they're asking for now is 3,500.
Okay.
It's 35,000
Oh, oops.
for one municipality, right?
yeah, this one is getting confusing because we've talked about it for so long in so many different versions. So, one, that they sent an email clarifying that they've got a lead now. They are just looking for $3,500, and they gave a presentation at Waste Check recently that I think our two members and Tyler attended.
What did you guys think of that?
I was quite impressed.
I was too.
It seemed like worthwhile.
Are they allowed to take stuff out of the St. Mary's though? Previously they weren't allowed to.
they
There
did.
was no
that
issues.
no-
Yeah, never.
Oh, that might be
no
an
issues.
issue.
And they were just talking about traps coming in from the fishermen.
Perfect.
And everything's recycled and,
So,
like right now, everything from Claire just goes in the dump. Like,
Oh, it's bad. Or is left on the bottom to
So-
ghost fish and destroy habitat.
so we can put this in the budget process then?
I'm in favor of this one, yes.
I would, so can I have a motion to move this to the budget process?
I'll make that move.
Sorry, I guess we were also good for a motion tonight if we want to
Oh,
participate.
well, then I move that we spend, we have much money, do we hit the grants and organizations? Is that the one we would use for this? I think we have about $3,000-4,000.
This wouldn't be a grant to organization, would it?
I'm going to say we can find, let us worry about where,
Okay.
what accounts.
I move that we participate and pay 1% of the contribution of $3,500.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? George?
So the other 9 municipalities have to also agree before it goes ahead?
I think
Yeah, and so
The
there's
way
9
they
more,
spoke.
and then one of them, I think it's Cape Breton, is going
it's
to be
Cape
the
Breton
lead.
saying
Right.
will be the lead.
And they've got, I think they're up to at least 4 with cash contributions before this, and however many units are represented at Waste Check.
Yeah.
Like, we're all talking about it, everybody had the same concerns you all did, and so you probably got that during the Waste Check presentation.
Yes.
That every council in Southwest Nova was looking at this and had the same concern, so I think
Okay,
more
good.
are coming on board, and they'll get to the 9.
Matthew?
Can we amend the motion so that it states that the other 9 municipalities, I just don't want something to happen that if the other municipalities.
So you want to get the money back if the
and all of a
program doesn't
sudden we
happen.
Like, oh, we're interested, then they come back looking for $35,000 or something. I don't know if that would happen, but I feel safer
I
with
think
us.
the motion said 35, 1% is 35.
At $3,500.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
what
limit.
says.
Okay, so.
Yeah,
we-
that's the limit. We're not, yeah.
Alright. Sorry.
No.
It's best to ask.
Yeah.
Better to
This is
do
something
it
that I'd rather
before
look,
we-
I'd rather look stupid for a second than be stupid
Yeah.
by not asking.
You know, and did you want that caveat put in, according, if they raise?
Do we need, you see anything there, Jeff? Before we make
So you're saying you'd like to have the other 9, you want all 9 committed before we send any funds?
yeah, I would think I'd like to see everybody committed to doing it.
We're kind of wanting people to follow us maybe on this too. So if it's added to 3,500 and they give it back if it doesn't work out. I think that's sort of assumed. I think, I can't see.
I don't know, I never saw the
Never
presentation,
assume.
so. Never assume, and
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this
Well,
project.
in the
so.
presentation, there was a lot of interest,
Mhm.
coming from the municipalities.
It didn't sound like it would be an issue getting to the 10.
Yeah.
They were pretty well there with the Waste Check municipalities. But.
And I agree with David. I think that we're going to benefit more than any other municipality.
Oh yeah, but it's huge.
Claire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
LFA 34.
We are the ones that's gonna do the benefiting, the most, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everyone's gonna benefit, but
But where does it go?
It's not Quebec right now, but like, it's just an opportunity for, there may be an industry here that wants to do it later. It's,
yeah, we could end up in another industry.
So they recycle it and turn the traps into.
they recycle every bit of it. The rope, the
Is there a filmed version of this presentation? Was it done over Zoom or did
I
they?
actually asked for one, but I haven't heard back yet.
Yeah, I have.
If you get one, send it to me. I'm curious.
Well, we can only show it.
Yeah, I have a big hate on for ghost traps.
So a lot of the stats were from this area.
Oh yeah, they suck.
Okay, so are we happy with the motion that we will give 30? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is meeting reminders. Now, I have paper. I want you to remind you of April 25th. It starts at 3 o'clock.
What date was that?
April the 5th, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, April 5th, 3 p.m. budget meeting. Yep, I got it
And
already.
April the 11th, which is a Monday, it's a joint council meeting starting at 6 o'clock here. The 12th is the committee of the whole at 5. April the 19th is the audit committee at 5. And April 26th is council. Now, does anyone have any concerns over any of those dates? Okay. The next is the update on capital, action items from previous meetings. I don't think there is anything. Okay. So then we would go to the update on capital projects 2021, 2022.
I think this is looking pretty similar to last month. We did finally receive just today, that's why it's not in this report, but we have been billed for the Weymouth Internet project. So that's a small portion of that amount, so that's the only billing we'll receive this year. So they got that one done this year, that's what they were supposed to, but they didn't get ahead of schedule, obviously, based on our previous conversations on the internet. We knew they were, yes, the Senate. So, but that will be updated for the next report.
Okay. Financial report, income and expense report of February 2022. Is there any questions or concerns for our manager of corporate services? I said affairs before, but corporate services, Coralie. Well, Coralie, is there anything you want to add to tell us?
No, not really on this one. It's more of a summary. You guys will get emailed from me a more detailed report, which, things are going along pretty good actually.
Yeah.
I think you know about the 2 variances that we had. We spoke about that at the last meeting. So I will have a more detailed one for the audit committee meeting with a lot more detail on the variances that we'll be looking at for year end.
Thank you. Is it no questions? So we will go on to our bylaw and policy recommendations. The first is the dog control bylaw. We're asking for someone to move the approval of the first reading of the amended bylaw, dog bylaw.
I motion to approve the first reading of the amended dog bylaw.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Is there any concerns or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is to approve the increase of additional $1,000 to the criteria for qualifying for the 2022-2023 low income tax exemptions, as well as an increase of an additional $25 per category for exemption.
A motion to approve the increase of an additional $1,000 to the criteria for qualifying for the 2022-2023 low-income tax exemption, as well as the increase of an additional $25 per category for exemption.
All in favor?
I'll second that.
Pardon me?
I'll second that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion approved. Next, move to approve the IT contract.
Motion to approve the IT contract.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next is our sewer system fees Would someone like to move?
I'll move to approve the universal sewer rate of $225 and universal frontage fee of $75.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is to accept the new salary scale for the manager of municipal services. as presented.
Who's gonna be the one to make that motion? I move to accept the new salary scale for the manager of municipal services.
Is there a seconder? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next, I need someone to move to approve the staff salaries for the 2022-2023 as presented.
Second, I'll move that.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next, move to contribute the cost of 5 true doors at $190 per door to Tyview Terrace.
I'll move to contribute the cost of 5 true doors at $190 per door to Digby.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.
$190 per tutor.
For tutor,
2 doors. Back in the 1890s, puns used to be considered the height of humor. Just gonna tell you that. Alright, I'm just gonna throw that out there. 1890s, there was nothing better.
This is not the 1890s,
I didn't get it though.
not even the 1990s.
That's right.
Okay, next, we are going under the committee of the whole recommendations. The last for the bylaw and policy recommendations, now we're into this one. Would someone like to move to approve the transfer of $583,616 to the capital reserve for future planning?
I'll move that.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is to move that Kathy Barr be appointed as the administrator for the danger zone unsightly under the Municipal Government Act as of April 1st, 2022.
I'll move that.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next would be to move that Kathy Barr be appointed as the enforcement officer for the noise bylaw as of April 1st, 2022.
I'll move that.
And is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next, we're going to business items. We're going to start off with the second reading of the sewer bylaw. So can I get someone to approve the final reading?
I move to approve the final reading of the amended definitions in sewer bylaw number 2007-01 and number 2007-02.
Is there a seconder?
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next was a letter that came in from Melissa Merritt, who is wondering about public transportation for Digby Neck and Islands. She'd like to see a bus there.
Yeah, it's
You just present it.
a tough one.
Well, you're right. They
You have 2 buses down there. You have Kathy and you have her shuttle and you have
Oh,
transport.
yeah, I forgot about Kathy. Kathy's not dependable, though. She sometimes won't bring people to the islands because she'll be mad at islanders for 6 months and stuff like that.
Okay, excuse me, Jeff.
Again, I know it's not a direct answer in a way. One of my thoughts on this, we could reply and suggest that there's a transportation study that we are participating with King's Transit. I think they will be looking at options like this.
Really? Yeah.
I don't. Now, when I say that, I don't think they're going to be looking to run a King's Transit route necessarily down there. But I think this study is going to start talking to us about gathering. They've got a fancy transit name, gathering from not artilleries. Arteries,
Yeah.
and bringing them in, right? So that there'll be a bus, a feeder system, right? That some of our routes, that it would be easier to keep the main bus on the route if we fed into some key stops. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what's anticipated. The past manager of King's Transit thought that was a direction, if they ever got to the point where they did a study, it would go.
Yeah.
So I think sharing with her that we are participating in a transit study, we are aware there are gaps in the current
I've talked to her
system.
about this too.
I know that's not going to meet in their immediate need, right? Telling someone we're going to participate in a study that hasn't even started.
But it's
an
that's what
answer,
we're
it's
doing.
true, then we
Yeah.
dedicated funding to it, right? So it is some action we've taken, but I'll let you guys.
Actually, I think that's an excellent idea. So would someone like to make that a motion that we send a letter to
So moved.
Ms. Barrett on what is happening right now with
I'll
public
pop
transit?
in and talk to her too. There might be extra governmental options that we could come up with too.
But is there first a mover for,
We moved it, I'll second it.
oh, you moved it? I'm sorry, David, I only heard you say you pop in.
I'm so quiet.
No, I just heard you say I'll pop in.
Oh.
Okay, is there any other questions or concerns?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carries. The next is the Universal School Food Program, and they're asking for us to send a letter of support or endorsement for this.
Absolutely.
That's what they're asking for.
I was going to mention this during my, counselor report, but somebody donated $400.
What they're asking is that the municipality of Digby endorse the efforts of the Coalition for Healthy School.
I move yes.
Food to activate for a universal cost-shared healthy school food program. The support is based on a shared belief that children and youth in Nova Scotia should have daily access to healthy food at school. And two, that the municipality of Digby so the first one is the first one. So, would we like to move that or not?
Yes.
Second.
Okay, so you moved it, you're seconding it. Any concerns or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is that the municipality of Digby call on the federal government to begin to implement a universal cost-shared healthy school food program for K to grade 12 students in the country and to sign onto the Global School Meals Coalition Declaration as per the Coalition's 2022 pre-budget consultation. Say that for me, somebody.
Consultation.
Tyler?
I just want to see you work it out.
Consultation? No, that's not right. What was it?
Consultation.
Consultation.
That's in my head.
Submission. It just wasn't there. I couldn't break it down.
You would have got there.
No, I wouldn't have. I can tell you, in grade 3, the teacher actually threw a book at me and hit me because she said I didn't know how to break down words that way. Oh yeah, the book didn't help either. Yeah, can't you understand anything? Whack with the book.
I guess I wasn't the only bad kid then.
Yeah, well, because it was actually, it was regional. I can still remember the word, and I couldn't come down with regional. I went regional, anyway, it's funny how you remember that.
Yeah.
So, do we want to do a motion on that, or
Yes.
an abbreviation of that motion?
I move. Therefore, I move what you just said.
Okay, is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any concern on anything? Okay.
Will we put that through FCM or?
Well, we would send it, I would think, to the Minister of Schools, the,
Minister of Education.
federally, under that Ministry of Education.
Do they have one? That's where I'm
very
wondering where it
fascinated
would
to see
go.
where this conversation goes.
Yeah,
Isn't there a minister with education federally?
Higher learning, maybe.
We can look it up. That's the
Yeah.
piece missing in this is who this letter goes to.
Right.
Like,
Does it say who we send it to?
no, the
No.
federal government.
So the federal government, I'm like,
That's why I'm asking.
send it to Chris, but I'm
Yeah.
So that's what I'm curious,
More
if
bite
you want to
me.
send it to Chris, or if you're looking to send it for someone.
I think
Ask
we
Chris
send it to
where he
Chris
thinks it should go.
What would have more bite? We send it to FCM. Maybe it would start something there. And then
Well,
they have to.
Federally, we've got to send it to someone in the federal government. If we're following the recommendation.
Let's follow. Let's
I would
Let's go,
say
Chris.
send it to Chris.
And get him to
Yeah.
forward to the appropriate department.
Yeah.
Okay.
Use your judgment. Where it should go.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
Maybe more.
Motion carried. The next on cap on property assessment, we have a letter that are asking us to recommend that we do not ever remove the cap.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's what I read, is they didn't want the cap removed.
no, they want it to leave on forever.
Yeah.
Who sent this letter to us?
It was from,
Somebody who
Same group.
obviously benefited. from the cap.
Obviously, some sort of, is it real estate agents?
No, it's the same group that's just
Same
in the
group.
fruit letter.
Yeah.
It's the Digby Area Health Coalition.
And they don't want the cap removed.
So if I could,
yes, sir?
I would suggest, as you all are aware, being educated on the cap is a challenging thing, right? We all have room to learn about the cap.
They think that this.
They think it's helping people in
Yeah.
economic distress or housing distress. So it's difficult. Obviously, I think we should respond. It's very difficult to do a respond letter and educate someone fully on the cap. So I think we can say it's tricky. One, the current government doesn't want to touch the cap, as you all heard during our call. So I think we could maybe make them aware of that. But I think we could also share with them the cap has a lot of. There are winners, but there are also
A lot more losers.
losers, and that
Especially young people.
a balanced approach to any feelings on the cap, or if they want to meet with us, it's tricky. I guess what I'm saying, I don't want to see us go on record to say that the cap should stay for forever. I would be concerned by us putting that down.
I wouldn't want it. That's the opposite of what I think.
I have a question about it, because I don't fully understand it myself. And I know in years past, I think it might mean something different now because of the high rising cost of homes right now. Where this cap's gonna go. If you take that off.
If we had the cap off, our tax rate would go down.
Like 20,
I
30
know it
cents.
would go
If I
down.
could, before we spend 4 hours talking about the cap.
Yeah.
So the cap is never going to come off, just today it's on, tomorrow it's off. The last
No.
time they talked about this, it was a
10
7-year stepped program
Yeah,
to
ridiculous.
remove it. It was
7?
10.
Yeah,
I think they got it down to 7 at one
Okay.
point.
That's even.
Again, this was
Yeah,
in those presentations because it was to level off the winners and losers as much as possible. It's never going to go from 1 year and your neighbor's
God,
house
no.
was assessed at $1 million and you were living in a $100,000 property and now you're going to pay taxes on $1 million. That's never going to happen.
Okay,
Right?
that's what I was
why the
scared
provincial
about.
government won't touch this.
No, nobody wants to rock the
So
boat,
no,
period.
it's never going to come off
Right
that
now,
way.
it's worse. So, I think that we should send a letter to them, on what the province is doing and that type of thing.
Yep.
Should I have a motion for
So
that,
moved.
please? Is there a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. And, maybe, I can, ask, our CAO of the, NSFM, if there's a chance that they could do a Zoom presentation on it for counselors that are still concerned or don't really understand it.
Yeah, or even the material they had, I'd have to look because I wasn't CAO, I don't think, when that. So there was a
Huge.
subcommittee through
Yeah.
NSFM, and they had there was a special committee with the province. Like
And
there was a lot
on
of
it.
material that was developed. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he was at the time in opposition, right?
Yeah. And he signed
To
off
see
on it.
where those materials are. I haven't spent enough time on the NSFM website to see if there's a section dedicated to, because they gathered a lot of material on this,
So
right?
you don't want me to
It's
speak?
important to understand.
I think let us look to
Okay.
see what we can find, right?
That's
I'll make a
wonderful.
note to see.
All right,
Essentially,
so we just
homeowners are
gave
subsidized by new
a
homes.
staff direction that they will look into what we can find out about the cap, because it's actually, when you start, the premise was put on before the province thought about it. It was happening in one small area, and instead of dealing with it, they brushed the whole province, and now there is suffering going on, people don't even realize it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not based on need, it's based on when you bought your home.
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah. And because there have been winners and losers that were not anticipated, it has changed the lobbying for those wanting to keep it and change it is very different than the groups that wanted it brought in, right?
Yeah.
Is one of the
Yeah.
challenges that it's why it's such a political topic. Even there are municipalities that aren't.
The
fully
seniors are
united
benefiting
on-
wonderfully, hugely from it. Seniors vote more than anybody else, and that's why the province doesn't want to touch it. That's the quick and dirty.
So there's nothing under information items for correspondence, so we will go on to the advisory committee minutes and reports. And the first one is the Heritage Advisory Committee, and they've actually proposed a motion. And the motion is to file with the Land Registry in Lordstown the notice of the heritage registration for the Bear River Lighthouse, PIN 302476670. Whoa. So who's on our Heritage Committee? So if you'd like to move.
I'll make the motion.
Oh, there's two of you.
Yeah.
So are you seconding it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion you would like to bring forward on that for us? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The next is the PAC February minutes. Any questions or concerns? No? All right. Under other council committees, there's nothing. Under 5.4, joint intermunicipal committee minutes reports. First was the dark January minutes and February recreation director, facility manager, and Acton living manager reports, March 2022 meeting minutes. Any questions or concerns on any of those? All right. The next is the King's Transit January general manager ridership and financial reports and February 2022 minutes. Any questions?
Is the manager at King's Transit, he's a permanent now, or is he still on?
Yes, he actually passed his, I shouldn't say it that way. His probation is now finished, and it was finished last week, and he was approved. Like, his probation went very well. And we have a meeting tomorrow night that I will be at. Next is the Waste Check March meeting notes. Any questions or concerns? And we just had a policy meeting that at our next meeting there'll be some more new policies coming forward. Under outside boards, committee minutes report each was the Southwest Biosphere signage. Any questions or concerns? It's a nice looking, it's got all 3 languages.
Right on.
Provided you know what county you're in.
Yeah, but it's Mi'kmaq,
Yeah.
it's English, and it's French. Isn't it? Yeah. I thought, but,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. So I thought maybe I'm being dumb here. Double check. Now, we will start with councilor district activity reports. Let's go with District 1.
Okay, I took in some webinars, one was contemplating care. I did that one on behalf of the warden because she was unavailable to attend. It was a Canadian-wide webinar, and it was actually, one of the presenters was a woman from Nova Scotia. It was a good presentation concerning like CCAs and daycare workers and things like that, like the care economy, they call it. It's people who look after children and sick people and disabled people so other people can work outside their homes and stuff. It was a very good presentation. I have been tuning into an FCM course that's financial options for building energy upgrades. That's just started.
Should have took that before all of us, huh?
It's not really exciting yet, but I'm enjoying it.
I love that you said yet. There's optimism there.
Well, there is one presentation tomorrow. I'm hoping to get a little more clarity. And I attended the New France AGM on Saturday evening in Weymouth, and I've just been dealing with some regular phone calls and stuff about garbage and applications and things like that.
And I want to thank you for doing the webinar for me. It was for International Women's Day, and I don't know if this sort of sounds I just felt it was better for the female to listen to it, though I probably could have had the opportunity to offer it to all. I just felt where it was an all women's thing. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore, but she, her, whatever. So, thank you so much, Angela. District 2.
Look at Linda. Did you just look at?
I was thinking George. I'm 3. I know you're 4, he's 5.
Like a trick question, you see.
It's never
Since my last council meeting, council has met with our MLA, Joe Balzer. I'm kind of going over February, March because I wasn't here for the last council meeting. So met with Joe Balzer and our Municipal Affairs Minister, John Moore, and discussed the local issues such as doctor shortage, affordable housing, highways, and local gravel roads. I received many calls on property issues, garbage, and road repairs. Today I attended the raising of the Ukrainian flag at the Tourist Bureau in downtown Digby. Also met with community groups and attended many committee meetings. And that's been about it. I'd like to remind everyone, if you or you know someone who's struggling in their home with today's rising inflation costs for gas and food, please reach out. There are provincial heating rebates, senior care money rebates, and we just passed a low-income municipal tax rebate, and that can help you through these times. So I just want to put that out there for people because the last month has been incredible with what we've seen and the increase of, furnace oil, gas, diesel, and because of that, everything else is rising in food costs.
25%, David told me, for food costs in the last.
Yeah, you said today.
No, 25% in the amount of people that are going
I
on.
apologize. I thought you meant.
Yeah, but food costs have gone up significantly. But I get things at cost from Prime, so these are.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that are too proud or don't want to say anything, but please, call me. It's all hush hush, because we don't know and we want to help, and we got all these programs, and it's easy to access that money. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you. Next is District 4. I know who District 4 is. I never forget District 4.
Hello, District 4.
Oh, sorry. Someone just texted me about agriculture. I was like, I got time for that text right now. Sorry. What have I been up to? Well, we're doing like a meal program at the school too. Recently, somebody approached us and said, want to know if we'd be able to write a tax receipt for $400 a month to go to children at the school. And also, my wife applied to a program with the Department of Education. We're hoping we'll get it before the school year ends. Crazy how long it took. So we're working on that. Like I said, there's been a lot of need, and you know how the school went up in numbers. Let me see here. So let me see. I got a crazy list here. I did the last dental person for the dental program, and they closed the dental program.
What?
Yes, I was mortified, and then I heard if the filthy liberals are going to stay in, I don't mind one bit if I get a dental program for these people. Sign me up, because I'm glad that the federal government's talking about it, because this ended and there's nothing. Apparently, the guy that did it didn't get support from. He ended up doing it all by himself, is what I believe was the impression I was given. New nurse practitioner bought a house on Westport. We're going to see if we're going to be quite supportive and helpful with her. The Briar Island Trail Society got a hold of me, and they were missing some papers from long ago, and I have never erased even one email since I've been elected, so I was able to pop right back, no problem, found it. It's like 5 or 6 years ago. So every now and then that happens. I'm always very pleased I do that. Been setting people up with the caregiver benefit that they have for older folks. Let's see here. Our own meal program. I was given $1,500 today for the food bank. Right now it's about $1,000 a month plus $1,000 worth of dry goods. So I need about $1,000 in cash and about $1,000 in dry goods. And like I said, I get a real big help from Primes. They sell it to me at cost, which is you would never get Sobeys or any of them, or Superstore would never do that. So big thank to him. I'm on the list for resources for the occupational therapist, so somebody has dropped off a bunch of mobility aids. Let's see here, I got more. Oh my God. Chris and Jill are coming to the island on the 14th. We're going to be talking about salmon, and we're going to be talking about, they're talking about moving the Coast Guard off of Westport to Freeport. And so that'll be a big news. I prefer it to stay in Westport. But Freeport's certainly a lot better than moving it, say, to Bataggan or Digby. 4 people. I found 4 people with air brakes that want to take the course for driving the plow. So 4 with air brakes, and another 2 or 3 besides that don't have air brakes that still want to come and see if they can, drive the smaller plow or whatever. So that's going to be successful. I'm very pleased with that. Job hunting, house hunting, I've got a few people jobs, a couple people jobs, and housing is becoming a real problem. I'm getting calls from former islanders who haven't lived here in 30 years, and they're like, my house that I was living in, the granny apartment, got sold, and I'm going to be 67, disabled, and homeless in 2 weeks. That's the sort of, which is quite anxiety producing. I have all the people I normally would turn to find a place for them to go, they're all full. I've already filled up, the cheap apartments and the cheap houses. It's nerve-wracking. It's worrisome. Yeah, so 20% increase in the amount of people for the food bank. What's happening right now is the older people, the elderly who are on, maybe you're a housewife and so you don't really get much of a pension, and they died 10 years earlier, their husband, and those are the people, all of a sudden, a bunch of them, I don't want to give the rest number, 6 or 7, out of the blue, elderly people, they don't have enough money now to make it to the end of the month. Several of these people are people that are on my radar that I've spoken to in the past, and they're like, oh, no, I can make do. And now they're like, there's a week left, and I haven't got a single thing in the house. And they're 80. So it's all very... And the Island Man is completely full, too, so this is tough. It's tough all around right now. Oh, and I'm doing lots of media stuff on salmon cages. I've approached every reporter... Nova Scotia.
You're putting it down as a concerned citizen.
Angry community leader.
As long as you're not using the municipality.
This is Linda Gregory
No,
Jr.
that is...
Signed Linda Gregory 2.
No, it's because none of us are up to write letters and sign our thing with those
Yes. And just throwing this out here. No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. There, I was smart for once in my life. All right, never mind. Continue. I'm done. I'm finished.
George.
I guess we met with the Minister of Municipal Affairs as a council. Also with Jill Balser. I don't know if that was in February or was that in February? March? Jill, anyway.
Yes.
There was also a meeting for the RBC. Robank had a meeting last week in Weymouth. I missed it because of our council or our committee of the whole meeting was the same night. Anyway, they're closing bank in Weymouth, and they just wanted to let people know and give them their options and stuff. Also had some dog-related calls, which I also was in touch with Tyler, and he gave me some good information. So, road concerns, and also helped an old pensioner track down his old age security.
Oh,
couldn't find it.
Good job.
We did get it after a while. So.
I hope he wasn't looking for a check.
No, he was expecting it in his bank account, but
it
wasn't there on Friday, and it wasn't there on Thursday, it wasn't there on Monday and Tuesday. So. we tried to call a couple times and you couldn't get through. You had to an hour wait. So we came up to the Service Canada, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, good.
Ringed it.
Right on, Service Canada.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Okay. For myself, it's just been a busy, super busy month with everything going on. I have had we had a virtual meeting with the ministers on the 4th with our CAO, so we all attended that. We also have had 2 with our partners regionally about RCMP and fishing, with the fishing concerns for the economy and the safety of our residents. That's our main focus. I also attended the Dark Senior Day. We had 36 in, a lot of younger people, a whole different crowd, and they're looking forward to it. And it's fun volunteering. I, of course, was to the flag raising today for the Ukraine, and I spoke on behalf of the municipality. On saying that, I had, and Tyler's put up about the Divert Nova Scotia Scholarship Program on our Facebook page. There has been some things I've asked Tyler to put on. It's really good if you look on our municipal Facebook page for some stuff that's good for the residents. Also on this coming Saturday, the 26th of March from 4 to 6, Electric City is having a chowder chili takeout supper. It's $10 for one of the main courses, chowders and/or chili.
Affordable chowder, $10.
Plus roll and dessert. It's takeout though. And that's down where Electric City is in Weymouth, what used to be the old Foodland. Not Foodland,
Value Foods.
Value Foods, yes. So that is there. Like I said, it's been a steady, busy run, and I have felt sorry for our management because it's been a rough month, I think, on all of them.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's been, yeah, from
What?
everything from.
I haven't been around at all. I thought it was
everything from garbage concerns, dog concerns, concerns. Just it's been everywhere, and there has been lots and lots of letters and calls.
Oh, yes.
So I'm taking my hat off to them all.
That's all I ever do is ring letters.
Now there is no in camera tonight,
Oh.
so could I have adjournment?
So moved.
Is there a seconder? All in favor?
Aye.